Marilyn Monroe may have well been telling the truth when she breathed in a song of the same title that diamonds are a girl's best friend. Actually, this line could have been lifted from the vernacular of the bodybuilder, for if diamonds are a girl's best friend, diamond, as in diamond-shaped calves, are a bodybuilder's best friend. When you stop to consider the dearth of fully developed, power-packed calves in the ranks of even world-class bodybuilders, you'll have to admit to the validity of the above claim. While pendulous pecs and blockbuster biceps abound in bodybuilding, a really outstanding pair of calves is still a rare commodity. Jack Neary, in his Muscle Builder report of the 1976 American Bodybuilding Championships, quoted me referring to Roger Callard's lower legs as full-grown cows, since they had obviously matured from being mere calves. Roger's calves, along with Ken Waller's, are among the greatest of all time, because in addition to being large and shapely, they also appear fully developed from all angles. A head-on frontal view of Ken Waller's calves reveals bulging inner and outer heads, as well as a thickly developed tibialis anticus. Ken's calves are perhaps most striking when he does a side pose. All of the more intricate muscles on the lateral aspect of his lower leg, such as the peroneus brevis and longus, and the large flexor longus, hallucis, left and separate into their respective grooves while popping out at you. Callard's calves are most spectacular when viewed from the back. When Roger strikes his famous double bicep back pose, he clutches at the floor with his toes, causing the inner and outer heads of his gastrocnemius to divide longitudinally into two distinct muscular entities, with tendons rising and disappearing beneath mounds of flesh, and long serpentine veins zigzagging their way back and forth under the parchment-like skin that shrouds his calves. Roger looks like a modern-day Hercules. My own calves have become something of a conversation piece in bodybuilding circles. In addition to being large, a tad shy of 19 inches cold, and bulbous, they undergo a unique metamorphosis when I flex them. Instead of just flaring on the sides and becoming more angular, as do the calves, when flexed, of most bodybuilders, the inner head of my calf breaks out into a startling amalgam of knots and knobs like no other calf I've ever seen. This peculiar characteristic is congenital, of course, and cannot be trained into a calf. With calves, more than any other body part, the eventual size and shape that can be attained seems to be determined genetically. In my opinion, the logic that guides the calf workouts of most bodybuilders is fallacious. While correctly assuming that the calves are an overworked muscle, considering their integral function in walking, running, and climbing, their logic breaks down when they go on to assume that this means the calves need more work in terms of straight volume to make them grow. If the calves have become more abstinent and refuse to grow because they are overworked from normal daily activity, don't give them more high-rep, high-set, low-intensity activity, which duplicates the effect of walking, climbing, etc. What the calves require is harder, more intense activity. Remember that intensity refers to lifting the heaviest possible weights over the fullest possible range of movement in the shortest time possible. And when you do that, not that much exercise in terms of actual amount is either possible or needed. My present routine is as follows. 1. Toe press on leg machine. Place the balls of your feet on the edge of the foot placement board on the leg press machine. Allow the weight to fully extend your toes so that your heels are higher than your toes and the calves are completely stretched. I perform my first set with as much as 700 pounds for 8 to 12 reps, and my second set with a much lighter weight after minimal rest, again for about 8 to 12 reps. Both sets are performed to the maximum with as much weight as possible in as short a period as possible. 2. Seated calf raises. This exercise is either performed in conjunction with the toe press as part of a superset, in which case it follows the toe press with absolutely zero rest between the two, or it is done as a single isolated exercise following 2 sets of toe presses. This exercise will stress the often neglected soleus, which rides under the gastrocnemius. Here again I emphasize the full stretch and go as high on my toes as I can, like a ballet dancer, when in the contracted position. The full extension and stretch at the bottom position of all calf exercises will serve to fully contract and peak the tibialis anticus, the large muscle on the front of the calf. I do 2 sets, 8 to 12 reps per set. 3. Standing toe raise. The standard toe raise on the calf machine is performed last in my routine. I use it to build mass and to give the calves a burnout. I do 1 set of this exercise with maximum poundage, sometimes as much as 1,000 pounds. This calf routine is performed twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays following my thigh workout. Even if nature was stingy and didn't endow you with naturally good calves, don't despair. Your calves will improve with the proper application of a high-intensity routine like the one I've just outlined.